Day, the 25th, then will finish up August 3rd and 5th. The scrimmage will be held August 1st at 7 p.m. Parking lots open at 3:30 with complimentary general parking available upon registration for lots B, C, D, E, J, S, and X. Due to construction, only the West Club Gate and Gate 4 will be open for entry at 4:30 p.m. It's 90 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Well, I hope y'all don't have plans for 7 p.m. tonight because that is when the newest episode of The Hunt debuts.
Yes.
And Tom, I know we were talking about this before the show. You are so pumped to see the Iron Jaguar games.
I am. I seen the little clips online, man. It looks awesome. I mean, look, it's so good to develop that mental and emotional toughness in the gym. I know Taylor doesn't know what we're talking about, but it's okay, Taylor. It's okay. We're going to walk you through. But no, it is. And they're competing against one another. You can tell they're just all fired up, working hard, and getting after it. So those are the videos I love. You know, I'll be honest with you, I don't like the individual videos where guys are like, hey, look at me working out. You're like, I mean, you're supposed to be working out. What are you showing the video for? You know, but as a team, I see it in college. You see it in high school, like kids squatting, you know, and the team goes crazy when he gets it all. Like, I love that kind of stuff. That's camaraderie. That's togetherness. That's building something. That's building some grit, which this team has kind of lacked the past couple of years.
You liked that a lot more than the film watching video.
That seems so staged. You know, it just seems so, I don't know, whatever. They got to do what they got to do. But I like the workout ones. Yeah. Those are good.
Yeah, I don't know about getting that tough grit in the gym personally, but you can see it. I mean, you could see the teams that you feel like have those type of, number one, you talk about the camaraderie, but also the teams that push that too. The teams where some of the hard knocks we've seen where you're like, dang, like you can tell they're invested in this product, and it just feels different when they're doing things like this together. Yeah,
I tell you what, conditioning. Like after practice. Now, you run a ton during practice. You are in shape, but you don't do it for that. Mm-hmm. You do it because every player dreads it, and it builds that extra toughness. And you don't have to kill them. You know, I remember when we'd be like, asking the strength coach, what are we running today? He'd be like, get away from me. I'm not telling you, because we wanted to know. Yeah. And then he'd be like, 4 gassers. We'd be like, 4 gassers? Gosh, is he trying to kill us? Like, what's going on? And then we run 4 gassers for time and cuss the whole time, but it does. It just gives you that extra, you know, that little thing of grit that you're going to need throughout this long season.
There's going to be a time in the fourth quarter that you're exhausted and your teammate looks at you and says, get your hands off your hips. Like, you know,
stand up. Let's go.
Stand up. Yeah. Don't show them that you're running out of gas. In the video that the Jaguars put out, and like I said, we'll see more tonight in the episode of The Hunt, but you see them pushing the sled, you see bar hang, you see tug of war, and Taylor, have you ever heard of an assault bike?
No, I have not.
So an assault bike is it's not necessarily scary in the sense of it's not difficult to like figure out. Like you would be able to figure it out easily. Okay. But it is scary in as far as your cardio. So it's an exercise bike, but there's resistance with both your hands and your feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it really works those
everything.
Yeah, it's hard.
Was it always called that? Those things have been around a long time, but the workout now where you're sprinting.
Yeah.
So it's kind of part row and part cycling. You know what I mean? So, it's a
That's what they called it when I went to a gym a few years
bike.
ago. Yeah, assault bike.
Okay.
And whenever I saw that on the
like
board.
an assault.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not assault.
Taylor's like,
correct.
What do I got? Is this an agility
Taylor's
drill?
like, does that come with
on the way of the bike?
The bike stuff hurts my butt, honestly. Anytime I've ever done like a cycling, like I have done 2 cycling classes, and by the end I'm like, dang, that hurts.
Well, that's more like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
The assault bike, not like salt for your margarita, but the assault bike is usually you're only on that for a few minutes. Okay. It's not like a traditional cardio machine, like an elliptical or a treadmill where you're going to be on it.
You can get a puffy seat though.
Yeah, I've tried. It just doesn't help. It still hurts.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. If you're sitting on there for a little, I guess that's what it was. They're like 40-minute classes, and you're like, oh God.
Yeah.
If we were picking teammates as far as for the Iron Jaguar games, picking from Jaguars players, I feel like our list of most explosive Jaguars, you'd go like right to those guys.
To that,
those guys. But I mean, Trayvon Walker, I'd be hard-pressed to pick someone before I pick Trayvon.
All you have to do is watch that fumble return from a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that was absolutely insane. A guy that big and strong and that nimble and fast. I mean, he is absolute specimen. That's a good call right there.
Who are y'all taking?
Well, if you already took Trayvon.
You can't have him.
We're going in order. I mean, Jarian, and I know I love Jarian. Yeah. I think that the energy of Jarian is probably one of the things that gravitates me the most to him, because I do feel like, just from what you saw on the field last year, but our conversations that we've had with Jarian too, and what you've heard from him, he's one of the more competitive guys and juiced up guys that you feel like on that roster. And obviously he's very in shape and athletic too, and fast, and can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, listen, just because I know how big and athletic he is, I'd take Walker Little.
Okay,
I would, because he can do anything athletically. He is very, very athletic, and I think in the gym he's really competitive. I do, and look, he's just got to get out there a little bit more and be a little bit more aggressive, and I think they'll get it out of him. Look, I've said this for a long time. He's got all the physical tools to be a great left tackle. If it was the emotional, mental side, which it seems like they're working on, he could really bring that all together and be that tackle that you need. But yeah, as far as competing in athletic movements, that guy's he's kind of a freak too when it comes to that.
And once Pads goes on, those two tackles are going against Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker, which I think also will benefit them. And having Walker Little have a full offseason of you're the left tackle, at least in this mindset, then I think that'll be good for him too.
I love that Tom is already wearing his credential.
I'm excited. I'm excited, man. I mean,
you're like Travis Hunter when he got drafted, just wearing his
Jaguars pajamas.
Man.
Training camp, for those of us in the media, it's kind of like the back to school for kids or college students. Like it sets our rhythm, and training camp kind of begins the year. Like I need to go school supply shopping for training camp. No, I think tonight's episode will be a lot of fun. We'll learn a lot about, especially the rookies and how they're able to fit into this team. Speaking of rookies, earlier today, Jack Kaiser, Taylor's guy, the linebacker from Notre Dame, did sign his contract. So all 9 of the Jaguars 2025 rookie draft picks have signed. We do not have to worry about that anymore. Taylor certainly talked about Jack Kaiser a lot. Tom, share your thoughts, and then Taylor, certainly want you to talk about it.
I mean, look, watching him, play for Notre Dame, made a lot of plays. Number 24, I believe, or 20, I think was his number, but he made a lot of plays as a backer. Seeing him out there, he looks athletic. He's got he's a little, he's not short. He's not, but he's compact.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm going to say that. I was like, you look at I always look at athletes' lower part of their body. How they walk, how they run. How they got big fat thighs, they got a big fat ass, is powerful. You know what I mean? I look at that, and he does. He does. So you're supposed to, I guess. I don't know what I say. It's like, but even like little kids, I watch how they walk. I'm like, that kid's gonna be pretty athletic.
Oh yeah, you can tell.
They bound on their feet, the way they run and that kind of thing.
So you like the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, in Major League Baseball?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think Jack Kaiser. We know he has smart football IQ, Taylor. I think the question is he fast enough to get on the field with the likes of Afoye Oluokun and the other guys that they have?
Yeah, I think that I think he's still fast. I think that there's a lot of things that you'll see that you like out of Kaiser, and he has a lot of experience at the college level and did a lot of different things. And that's the thing that I think has maybe the mindset of the Jaguars and why they wanted him. And I posted earlier when he signed, and I said, Jack Kaiser, finally a Jaguar or whatever, officially a Jaguar. And a lot of Notre Dame people immediately started saying Mr. does everything, because that's what he was asked to do, a lot of different things and play a lot of different roles in that Notre Dame defense. And I think that under Al Golden, we saw him take even a bigger step on what he was able to do. And then injuries, when guys started getting hurt last year late in the season, he was able to step up and play some big roles in some big spots. And how quickly that transfers to the level, I think, is what some people's biggest question is. How ready can he be for that NFL level? And maybe does it take a little bit more time? But I think Jack Kaiser can do anything that Coach Camp would ask him to do. I'd say
the way he moves is quick twitch. You could tell he's explosive out of his stance. Yep. Just by the way he moves, so I think he's plenty fast enough. Yeah. And look, the biggest thing is it's the physicality. Like when even playing at Notre Dame, you play against great teams, but half those guys aren't in the league. And then you go to the NFL, and then you're like, wow, these guys are really big, really fat, and across the board. So you just kind of got to get used to it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's almost like when someone's too fast for you, you just have to figure out the different angle. I can't get you here, but maybe I can get you like 45 degrees, a little bit further. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
so you can adjust to that. That's That's just natural ability of getting used to that kind of thing, right? Taking on 330-pound guys, play after play after play. After a while, you learn, I'm going to make them miss as much as I can, and not have to be so robotic and take them on and do this stuff and take 2-gap, 1-gap, and then hit the back. You become more natural. So the quicker that happens, that's really the transition.
Yeah.
It's not that he's not big enough, he's not fast. That has nothing to do with it. Can his game transition into the NFL? Like, can he make those adjustments if he has to make those adjustments and be able to play the run and pass like he did in college?
And obviously they believe in him because they drafted him where they drafted him. And also, from everything I've heard, they are excited about him. I don't know that means that he's necessarily going to be starting when the season begins, but it's also a good thing to have depth and certainly a linebacker room.
You need quality backups. I think, I don't care what position, every backup should be able to start. Maybe not to the same quality caliber, like all-star level, but you should be able to start in the National Football League if you're backing up a starter in the NFL.
Yeah, I think if there was a couple games that I would tell people to go watch last year for Jack Kaiser, it would be the Texas A&M game week 1. Okay. He was just so impactful from start to finish in that game. And it was a very defensive heavy. If you remember, it was a lot of defense in that game, not a lot of offense at all. And it seemed like it was going to boil down to that, which defense made the bigger plays. And at the end of the day, Notre Dame did. And then the Penn State game too. And the Penn State, the run game, they were running all over Notre Dame's defense. And a lot of that was they were missing some of their key pieces defensively that kind of affected that. But Jack Kaiser, if you just go watch him in that game, he was all over the place. He was stepped up into some big roles when we talk about Riley Mills and some of those guys up front that weren't there, and Kaiser having to kind of replace some of these guys and come in and then again, one of the better ran offenses during that year, and another game that kind of felt like it was that defensive-minded game, and Kaiser was probably one of the better players in that game.
That big defensive tackle was out that game when he against Penn State.
He played, but he was.
What was the game where they missed a really big defensive tackle? Because that matters.
Notre Dame you're talking about.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about Penn State. They were missing. Yeah, they were missing a lot of people.
Yeah.
Riley Mills was out at that point. They were missing both their corners at that point. There was a lot of kind of beat up pieces on Notre Dame. I thought you were talking about.
Listen, I've said it before.
Edge from Penn State.
It's hard to play linebacker when your D-line's no good. So I don't care what level you're talking about. It's really difficult.
Yeah, it's funny as you talk about backups. I go to the quarterback position, and I'm like, so many people want to talk trash about Trevor Lawrence, but you want Nick Mullins? That's what you want? You want Nick Mullins to step in if you don't trust Trevor?
May say yes.
I mean, I know Mac Jones. Mac Jones is it, but let's take a chill pill.
I think we've said this, but I don't understand the trash. I don't understand the overhype. I don't understand either one of them. I don't believe in either one of them. It's more in the middle than any of those things, in my opinion. And like we said, with Liam and company, we're going to expect a big year, and it's going to be a great year, hopefully.
Yeah, to me, it's still a TBD with Trevor. That's where it is. I think you've seen enough to give him more time with the right play caller and with the right things in front of him and with the right weapons. But I can also see hesitation for some people that say this year I need to see it.
Yeah, I just want to, as we've done many a time, go back to sometimes the changes benefit a quarterback. And you've got guys who they changed in cities entirely, teams entirely. But once they had new schemes and new pieces around them, like a Baker Mayfield, like a Sam Darnold, all of a sudden they were really good. If Liam Cohen can be close to Kevin O'Connell, look what Trevor Lawrence could end up being this season, which, by the way, we will hear from Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence on Wednesday following the very first practice for the Jaguars. Yeah, training camp begins next Wednesday. So speaking of training camp, we got into some of the battles yesterday, whether it was the running backs, whether it was the offensive line, the safety. What are some other things you're looking to see next week? We will get into that on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Splash into summer with 1010XL.
This is Jennifer Marion at Randy Marion Cadillac. Are you ready to drive away today in luxury? Then you should check out Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville.
Discover our luxurious lineup with over 100 Cadillacs to choose from, including the stunning Cadillac IQ, Lyric, Optique, and Vistique.
And here's something important. The $7,500 tax credit on EV vehicles will be gone in just 90 days.
That's right. Don't miss your chance to save while driving in style.
Visit us at Randy Marion Cadillac.
Plus tax tag Title $9.99 admin fee and resist all on approved credit.
Chicken Salad Chick has scratch-made Southern-style chicken salad in every bite. It's quick and delicious, so why wait? Come taste the best chicken salad today at Town Center, Durban Park, Butler Point, and now in Ortega Park. Chicken Salad Chick.
Duck Rooter. We've seen it all. Whatever's blocking your pipes, we'll get it flowing again. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule your drain cleaning service. That's 904-862-6769 or online at duckrooter.com.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. In today's world of retail, how has a store like Underwoods stayed viable against the big national stores?
Frank, that's a question with a direct answer. At Underwoods, we've never aspired to be the biggest. What we've always tried to do is be the best. When you take this approach, there's some things that come to mind immediately, like fine quality merchandise bought by buyers that are experts, high levels of service delivered by a staff that are helpful and know what they're doing. Then there's some things that people don't really think about at all. Like the finer a gem, the more rare it is. And these gems are not mass producible because they were made by God millions of years ago. Because of that, there just aren't enough of these for the big multi-store retailers to buy and put into their merchandising schemes. So at Underwoods, we buy these finer, rarer gems and create jewelry pieces that the people in Jacksonville expect out of us.
When you want the best, it's Underwoods. Underwood Jewelers in San Marco, in Avondale, and at the shops of Ponte Vedra.
If you miss some of the fun, catch the best of Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing SEC Media Days. Opened up by Instant Keys. If you miss an interview, look for the best of at 1010XL.com.
You were serious about that?
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com/Duval. That's WM.com/Duval and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's The Mangler.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Need the right tools for the job without the full-time price tag? Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach is what you need when you need it. From heavy machinery for commercial projects to weekend projects at the house, we've got you covered. We've been serving Jacks for 50 years. Visit Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach, just behind Aqua East Surf Shop, or call today. We also have event rentals too. Tucker Equipment Rentals. Tools you need without the price tag of purchasing.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
Reclaim a pain-free life with Rebound Rehab. If you've been injured or simply feeling the effects of an active life, you can rely on Rebound Rehabilitation to get you back in the game. Sitting on the sidelines isn't any fun. Trust Rebound Rehab's team of trained physical therapists to get you back up to speed and feeling full again. Now more convenient than ever. 11 locations to serve you, including new offices in Riverside across from St. Vincent's, Point Meadows, and Middleburg. Just log on to reboundrehab.com to see all they've got to offer.
Yo, it's your boy E to the T here, and I know that getting into an accident is stressful, but getting the proper care doesn't have to be. That's why I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. Even if you're at fault, your insurance covers you. And remember, you have the right to choose your own doctor. Even a minor accident can cause whiplash for years if it goes untreated. So don't wait. Call the auto accident experts at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Your recovery starts today.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you. British Open updates coming your way in just a little bit. We can tell you Rory McIlroy just bogeyed, so he is now 1 under. He was 3 under earlier, but 2 bogeys in the last few holes has set him back to 1 under. Scotty Scheffler is in the clubhouse at 3 under, and then there's 5 different guys that are at the top of the leaderboard at 4 under. One of the guys still on the golf course. Looks like actually he's just finished. In Christian, God bless you is what I call him. Yeah, Besadenut. I just know that last name is tricky. But yeah, lots of guys who you've, besides Harris English, who is a Jaguars fan, lots of guys that maybe most people haven't necessarily heard of. As well, you should be, yeah.
He's
Although
got a lot of golf left.
Matthew Fitzpatrick, the Englishman, he's near the top of the leaderboard too. But like I said, Open Championship updates coming your way in just a little bit. Back to Jaguars football. We talked about the 3 different training camp battles that we'll certainly be keeping an eye on, especially when the pads go on starting next week. Offensive line, running back, and safety. What are other things that you want to see? Taylor, I'll start with you as far as before the pads go on.
Oh, that's a good question. I think that before the pads come on, which I feel like we've already seen enough of that. I want the pads on is what I actually want to happen.
Just 11 days from now.
Yeah, I do think that there's things that you can still get when you talk about speed, when you talk about who looks like they're in shape. I think when we talk about offensive linemen, that's going to be one of the things, because we saw/heard the Anton stuff, and you want Anton to be in shape. You want Anton to be out there and ready. And I think that in addition to that, all the defensive side of the guys who spent so much time this last couple months talking about how Ryan Nielsen had them all put weight on and how much is that going to factor in. But just seeing that, I think, is seeing these guys come into camp and the shape they're in will kind of affect maybe some of our thoughts when we're thinking of who really has a chance, who's put in that work this offseason that you wanted to see, especially because that weight's been such a hot topic this last couple months.
I think for me, I want to see a crisp offense. I don't want to see the ball on the ground. Now, granted, you want the defense to succeed too, so you don't want the offense just to light them up, because that's not good either.
Liam doesn't care about the defense.
Yeah, no, he's like, no, I really want the defense to do well. Wink, wink. But obviously, you want that offense scoring points, and you want them to be successful. I just want to see that the system's pretty much down. It's clear and concise. No, like you might have an interception. Like, people get carried away, throw a couple touchdowns, throw a couple interceptions. It happens during camp. It shouldn't happen in the games per se, but I just like to see it crisp, and I like to see the ball not be on the ground. I didn't see the ball on the ground a ton during this offseason, and I think that's important. So, look, I'm assuming they're going to be in decent condition.
Yeah.
If I'm Liam again, I'm conditioning them more, but I think for me, it's just making sure I want to see that defense run to the ball, pursuit. I mean, the pursuit last year wasn't very good. A lot of guys loafing on the back end. You know what that means, where you kind of, the plays way over there, I'm not going to run as hard. You can see them on camera. They start jogging over there. So hopefully they can get rid of that kind of fluff and cut the fat, if you will, and make sure that defense is running to the ball. And then the pads, and that's what we'll all be waiting for.
I do think that one of the things, the ball not being on the ground is going to be a big one for a lot of people in many different ways. We've talked about the fumbles when it comes to Trevor and now some of the running backs, but also the drops. The drops in Jacksonville have just been, they weren't as bad last year as they had been the couple years previous, but you still had too many. You shouldn't have guys on your team having 7-8 drops in the season. That's just, it shouldn't happen. And so I do think that's going to be a big thing, because if we're talking about at the end of the season evaluating Trevor Lawrence, what do you feel like gives you the true evaluation of Trevor Lawrence? And if we're still at the end of the season saying, well, you led the league in drops, then how much are you really truly having to evaluate everything that Trevor is?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And mine wasn't just on the quarterback. It was the receivers too, making sure that they're catching the rock and not putting that on the ball. And then, of course, you want the secondary to make some plays. The D-line, you don't want them, dominating like they did throughout the offseason. When the pads come on, we'll see that. But look, again, I think for Liam, he wants to make sure these guys know the offense at least as well as they can right now, and that it's crisp, because no coach wants to go into training camp having to start over, explain this and explain that, and and that's not a good thing. So I think we'll see a pretty crisp, well-run practice. And to be honest with you, part of what I'm excited for is what kind of practice is Liam going to run? Mm-hmm. Like, what's it going to look like? They're not out there very long. We saw the time.
Yeah.
These guys got it made, don't they?
Less than 2 hours on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, like an hour and 45-minute one day of practice training camp. Holy moly.
Yeah. It gets a little, I know. It gets
happy
a
hour
little
at 4. You get half off on appetizers at the stadium every single night, man. It's great.
Leon's always like, man, they have it so easy nowadays. So
in comparison, they do.
What they
that's
did,
what
that's
they collectively bargained.
Yeah, they won the battle.
I would say my top 2 things certainly would be how the offense looks, the command that Trevor Lawrence has of the offense, and the chemistry that he has with these guys. Does it continue with De'Ami Brown? Does he get the most targets, or does he start to spread that around? And then the main other part for me is Travis Hunter. Mm-hmm. How often is he playing wide receiver? How often is he playing corner? How does he look playing wide receiver? How does he look playing corner? Yep. I have said multiple times, Tom, that I think Travis Hunter naturally looks like he is a cornerback. I think he is working hard to become a guy that looks like a great receiver out there. But naturally, to me, just the way that he moves, he looks like he could start in this league as a corner week 1.
Well, his change of direction is ridiculous. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, he can backpedal, flip his hips, get in a full sprint, but he can also do some amazing things on the offensive side of the ball. I want to see what kind of corner he is. You know, I mean, I didn't watch a lot of Colorado football. I've seen what I've seen online and that kind of thing. I know he's more of a zone guy. He's a good read and reactor. But there's more to it than just that, playing corner. So I want to see him out there. I think for the first 4-5 days where they're not in pads, he's going to look absolutely fantastic. And then the pads will come on, and we'll just see if he continues to look that fantastic.
Do you think it'll be like OTAs and minicamp where we see him mainly at one position and then mainly the other position at the next practice? We only saw one practice, and they could have done this when we weren't out there. But we only saw one practice, a mandatory minicamp, where he actually switched jerseys mid-practice and went from receiver to corner.
I kind of want to see him go right from they do 11 on 11, the first 5 plays he's on offense. All right, you're on defense now, and then go right into it because I just want to see him do it.
You also have to, because you have to see how much he can do that in a game. You don't want week 1 against maybe Carolina's the better test to be able to do that, maybe, but you don't want week 1 to be like, hey, let's see if he can do both of these. You're going to have to test that out, and obviously preseason will show some of that, but we know what preseason is for the most part too. So in camp, if you want to work up and see how much he can actually do of each side, then you're going to have to test that at some point.
But at least he doesn't have to do a wardrobe change in a game. Yeah. An actual game. He can keep the same jersey the whole time.
True.
And Taylor, to your point, the last 6 weeks, what has Anton Harrison done above and beyond to get him to where Liam Cohen's going to praise him? Because that, I think, will speak volumes. If Liam Cohen on Wednesday or any of the days that he speaks says, Anton got after it the last 6 weeks when we were not with the team and in individual training, he, committed to everything that we told him to do. If he says stuff like that, then it's going to be like, okay, he has now impressed them. Whereas if he doesn't say anything about that at all, it's going to be like, okay, I just don't know what's going to be the future of Anton.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's going to be one of the bigger storylines on the offensive line. In general, I think from all the way across, maybe outside of Walker Little, we're going to be talking a lot about the offensive line. But I think Anton, especially because of the comments of Liam Cohen, when your head coach comes out and makes remarks about if he puts in that effort, and when Anton's on, he's on, but when he's not, he's not. That's a problem. And so I'm sure Anton has heard it, not just from that podium, not from that presser, but I'm sure they've had those conversations aside from that. And so how serious are you taking it? And that's going to be a big thing, because we went through the edges that this team has to face in just the division alone, and there's a lot of very good ones, so you need 2 tackles protecting Trevor.
Depth charts matter. When they came out in minicamp, it's not set in ink, but it's set in pencil for sure. And when they come out for training camp, that's another step towards the process. And when they put that first team out there, that's the first team going into training camp. That has meaning. That doesn't mean nobody can replace them, but that has meaning. So I'm going to be interested. Is it Anton? Is it Chuma? Who's my starting right tackle when training camp opens? Because I think that's going to say something.
There could be an
there
or.
could be a slash. Yeah, there could be,
Yeah, and
but who goes out there first matters. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
First guys who goes out there first will matter to a certain degree.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, obviously, we're not allowed to report on those things as far as who's taking reps with the ones and who's taking reps with the twos. So we're not going to be able to tell you. However, if you're out at training camp
you'll be able to
practice,
see it.
Yeah,
you'll be able to see, the platooning if they're doing things like that, or who gets those reps.
Yep.
All right, so when we come back, there is a ton of NFL news out there, so we will cover it all. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010X on 92.5 FM.
This Open Championship update on 1010XL is teed up by TopDressing.com and 904 Gutters with a Z.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 153rd British Open, sponsored by Prevagen. Prevagen, made for your brain. Past 7 o'clock in Royal Port Rush, sun setting out for another 3 hours. Plenty of time to complete the first round at the final major of the year. And 4 under is the bar to clear. Matt Fitzpatrick, Hao Tong Lee, Jakob Skov Olesen, Christian Bezadenhout, and Harris English tied for the lead. Olesen, the former British amateur champion, was at 5 under before a bogey at 18. Bezadenhout has 1 hole to go. English is through 11 holes. Top-ranked Scotty Scheffler carved out a 3 under 68 earlier. Scheffler is 1 back. Rory McIlroy dropped a shot at 11. He is 2 under and 2 off the lead. Bryson DeChambeau still trying to figure out links golf. 5 over through 13, including double bogeys at 4 and at number 13. He's 9 back. I'm Ted Umrick, Westwood One Sports.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, faucets, vanities, doors, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a member? Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Sun's out, savings out. That's what this summer is all about. Hurry to Kia on Atlantic this month to maximize your fun in the sun. Make no payments for 90 days and drive new Kias starting under $20K. Plus, it's easy to shop for new Kias when you know we have financing rates starting at 0. Take advantage of the sunniest time of year and drive away with the sunshine savings from here. Online at KiaOnAtlantic.com. Kia on Atlantic, your Kia Coastal Connection. For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
Yo, ET here, and I need you to beat the heat this summer with cool escapes and non-stop fun in Clay County. Tackle indoor adventures head on. Throw axes at Live by Axe or smash your stress away at Just Smash That. Then kick back with drinks, good food, and fandom vibes at Nakama Anime Bar or Leaderboard Arcade and Bar. Whether you're blowing off steam or just looking to chill, Clay County got your perfect indoor getaway. Find your cool at exploreclay.com. That's exploreclay.com.
Hi, I'm Karen, owner of Clay Solar Installation Partners, your local women-owned solar company. At Clay Solar, we're more than just panels and power. We're about people. We make the switch to clean energy simple, stress-free, and built to last. If you've had a bad experience with solar in the past, we can help. We specialize in dependable solutions and top-notch customer service, so you can finally enjoy the savings and sustainability you deserve. Schedule your free consultation at claysolar.com.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy. Why so glum?
Stinky ice cubes, Jason. It's all downhill from here.
What?
The tap water at my place smells kind of funky. Funky tap water makes funky ice cubes. I meet a nice girl, invite her back to my place for a cocktail, and blow my whole romantic gesture with a mojito that smells like dog's feet.
Wait, I can totally make you way cooler.
I'm not taking your charity ice cubes, Jason. I have my pride.
Your pride is safe. Our plumbers can be at your house the day you call and install a whole home water purification system. Water tastes better, dishes come out cleaner, even your hair feels better after you shower.
Ooh, the ladies love a man with soft hair, don't they, Jason?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend every day worried about the water in your own home, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 17th, 1941, Joe DiMaggio's record 56-game hit streak ends when he goes 0 for 4 against the Indians. His record still stands today.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you as we're hanging out on a Thursday. By the way, this will be our last Thursday for quite some time as Jaguars programming will take over from 4 to 6. So XL Primetime will still be noon to 2, and then the Fringy Show will move up to 2 to 4, our normal time slot now. And so most Thursdays you will not hear us, but that's quite all right. We'll be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday.
That's
By
right.
the way, I have a shout out to give a random person.
Shout out.
Shout out. On my way into work, all of a sudden, all these cars on Beach Boulevard, so in the 3 lanes heading west, are all stopping, and you can't figure out why.
Mm-hmm.
And then I figure out there's a guy who noticed that there was a little tiny kitten that was crossing Beach Boulevard, and he stopped traffic and rescued the kitten.
Oh.
Did you see?
So sweet. I rolled my window down. I said, thank you. I think I'm the only person who said that, but I was like, thank you.
Like, a little dangerous, but
Yes, but he was able to get the cars to stop, so it's not like
Some
they were
people
still
might
flying
not.
by.
Well, and that's I just saw his story. This isn't funny, but and similar. I guess it was like ducklings that were trying to cross. So a lady got out of the car and tried to stop, and a guy still sped by and like killed one of them. And the lady, and I guess after he must have like pulled over at some point after he realized what was going on. But I guess didn't see her trying to get everybody to stop. And then she like maced the guy for killing the. I know, that's why I was like,
it wasn't funny. It's kind of funny.
That's so unbelievable.
I mean, it's not funny that the duckling died,
I
but
know.
this guy kind of got what he deserved.
It was deserved. Yeah, he got bear maced.
I tell you that the geese are a problem.
Oh my gosh, they just
we
think
walk
they
through
rule the
park,
world.
Jarbo Park. They crap everywhere. They bark at you.
Yeah.
They'll bite you too.
They'll
attack you. You gotta be careful.
Those are dinosaurs.
Who don't like birds, remember?
Yeah, right. I don't know if I was walking with my wife today, and my neighbor's like, "Hey, Tom, do you know what kind of bird that is?" I'm like, "I'm not really like bird guy. Like, do I look like I know birds? But whatever." He's like, "I think it's some kind of pterodactyl or some crazy."
Pterodactyl?
Not pterodactyl, raptor. Some kind of raptor. I was like,
Some
raptor?
of them do look like
Anyway.
I fully think that some of them are definitely from dinosaurs, and they're still just like versions of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Like vultures, for example, that's the scariest, nastiest bird
Yeah, they
in
are
the entire
nasty.
world.
They are nasty. I think that way about little lizards. They're little dinosaurs.
For sure.
They are, man.
I just
Are you
said
scared
that
of
to Brian the
lizards?
other
They
day.
are. No, I'm not scared of lizards at all. No, I like when my cats catch one though. They're vicious.
The cats.
Yeah, we have
Not the
dogs
lizards.
and cats, but yeah, they're vicious.
Yeah. My grandma is terrified of lizards. I walked into the house one day and she was standing on the coffee table just yelling. And I'm like, what is going on? And there's this tiniest lizard. I was like, Nanny.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of a lot of things.
What about
Lizards
bugs?
not one of
Like
them.
I always get called, Dad, there's a bug in my room. I'm like, kill it.
Yeah, bugs, I'm
No,
okay.
you gotta do it.
I don't do snakes and I don't do spiders.
Yeah, I don't like snakes.
Really big, dangerous spiders.
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
bugs.
But
Spiders
I'm
don't
called
bother me
terminate.
because you can just stomp on them. Well, you just step on them, they're dead.
If not,
But
if
what
they're
if
like
they have
above your
babies in
head.
it?
And
I've
then-
heard
Going
that
through
there's
the
sometimes
forest somewhere,
babies.
like, what do you mean above your head?
We have-
Daddy long legs coming down.
Did you see? So when I moved into my new apartment, which was like a little over a year ago, we had these wolf spiders, I guess is what they're called, and these things were bigger than my hand, and they'd be up in the corner, but everyone's like, be careful, because they're the ones that if you smash them, they have the sacks of babies, and then it'd be like a million baby spiders everywhere. So that was I just kept vacuuming them with the long thing. But
Yeah, some spiders will climb up in showers.
Yeah.
Different
They're just
walls.
watching
so,
while
yeah,
you're
not
sleeping.
In the forest, I'm in rooms.
Well, you got to exterminate things, and they die.
Oh,
you
for
know?
sure.
Thank you, Tommy.
Yeah,
Terminex is good.
Terminex is great for this.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into some NFL news. Basically, the most recent breaking news when it comes to the National Football League, wide receiver Mike Williams informed the Chargers that he plans to retire. I understand, he certainly had a great career in his NFL career, but at the same time, I feel like the Chargers probably had an idea that maybe this was coming. He is 30, not 35, though.
Yeah, he's Mike Williams. It's weird. It's weird how quickly you feel like things can fall off, because a few seasons ago you were still talking about a 900, 1,100 yard Mike Williams and being such a massive part of what Justin Herbert was and how that offense ran. And then you saw him last year and you kind of saw the decline, but people were like, okay, is it because he gets traded to the Jets and it's the Jets and whatever?
Right.
And then he goes to Pittsburgh and it still it didn't really work out there either. So I do think that you probably feel like his trajectory, it was towards the end anyways, and at this point in time that's when your decision comes. Do you have that couple years in you? Is it worth it? The Chargers receiving room is going to be even more interesting now. It's pretty much Quentin Johnston, Trey Harris, and Ladd McConkey. Obviously, Ladd really stood out last year. Trey Harris, we'll see. I know, Lauren, that's one of the ones you're very high on. But it will be an interesting room, because I feel like a few years ago when you go from Mike Williams and what still seemed like he was there, and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler and all those guys, and now it's definitely a very different offense.
Yeah, and Harbaugh, he invested in that O-line.
Oh,
adding all to an already Rashawn Slater as bookend tackles. I mean, that's just beast. They're really running the football.
Yeah, Mekhi Becton on the inside now. So we'll see.
That's right. And isn't it funny, some guys when they leave, it rejuvenates and they do get a couple years or 3 years, and maybe go to another team and get a couple, and then some guys go and it just fades away.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not in the right, whatever. I mean, do they decline that much? You know what I mean? I don't
for
know.
some players, yes, they do. And then other players, I don't know that maybe their heart is in it still. But Devontae Adams, for instance, is 32 years old and had almost 900 yards last year. So it's not necessarily an age thing.
Right.
I think it just comes, each body is certainly
and
different.
Williams had some
Godwin
injuries.
and Evans.
He had a knee injury, I think. Didn't he, Mike Williams, have a knee injury, an ACL or something like that?
And that was another thing with Mike Williams is he's had several injury issues the last few years. I think he played every game last year, but before that missed the majority. I think that was the year that happened. And then he missed 6 games the year before, a few games the year before. So injuries have definitely started to pile up. So maybe that factors into it.
That can factor in for sure. There's no question about
Evans
that.
is 31, Godwin's 29.
Yeah.
So right around that age. Yeah. I think the injuries certainly do play a factor. And like I said, I think for some people, they feel like maybe the times that they had were more fun in the past, and maybe Harbaugh coming in last year.
He's like, this guy's mean.
Yeah, like he didn't play there last year and is coming back to the Chargers. Like, I don't actually want to do this anymore.
Right. Or the body's just, I'm done.
And that's
then you
certainly a
come to that
possibility.
realization and you say, okay.
Speaking of players who have been injured as of late, Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson is believed to have recovered from his recent right shoulder setback as the team prepares to report for training camp next week. So does that mean that he'll be QB1 or is Daniel Jones QB1?
That's good. I
think Anthony is.
I think he is because of where they drafted him, but I wouldn't put him at QB1.
I don't know how secure that is. If you were to ask me on a scale from 1 to 10 how secure the Anthony Richardson QB1 job is, I would say on the low end, like a couple bad practices and all of a sudden we're seeing a flip to see how Daniel Jones can run with the ones. I think it's that easy for them. But I also do think that you did spend high draft capital on him. Outside, there's the injury issue, but outside of that, they probably feel, if you talk to Colts fans, they feel like when Anthony was in, the offense was more efficient than what it was with Joe Flacco. So I do think that there's something that they want to see. You do have to decide which route you go, because I don't know if Daniel Jones is your long-term answer either. Daniel Jones is kind of what feels like to me more of a fill-in. So you're deciding your future with Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I think you got Jones there just in case it doesn't work out. And look, with Anthony Richardson, they also don't want to have egg on their face. I mean, that was a big risk to take him at number 4. For a guy that only played 13 games in college football. I liked what I saw. I know Gator fans, my Gator fans, they're like, I don't know. He looked good at times, but then looked awful at times. They were shocked that anybody drafted him that high, but they'll give him a shot to do it. The question is, can he stay healthy? Does he want to really do it? You got to make sure that's it. And that's why you have Daniel Jones. He's not the greatest, but if he can come in and run your offense and be somewhat efficient, you'll take it if the young kid don't work out.
Yeah, at least Daniel Jones does have mobility. So that's, certainly a key part for Anthony Richardson. So at least both quarterbacks have that ability.
They can run.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones can run for sure.
Yeah, but I wonder because
Riley Leonard too.
Right. I wonder if Anthony Richardson, because he's missed time with that shoulder, if they're going to have Daniel Jones as the one taking starting team reps first and then kind of ease Anthony Richardson in. But obviously Shane Ballard, to your point, Tom, the GM of Indianapolis, if this draft pick doesn't work out, that's his job. You miss on a quarterback picking at number 4 overall, you're not going to survive that. And yes, Gators fans never thought he would have been drafted in the first round after watching him. They had heard he was going to. We knew that.
Everyone kept being
like,
that's crazy.
But
and Denny Thompson kept saying it, and everyone
he was
like,
right.
that's wild.
Yeah. Do you always throw in a Notre Dame player? I don't really like Notre Dame. Do you know that deep down?
You'll definitely
Boston
hear it.
College is not like Notre Dame. And I keep hearing these Notre Dame names. Like, you throw those in every chance you get.
Well, he's there next.
Like
He's behind Daniel Jones on the
I know.
Maybe Riley Leonard will.
But he is where he can't throw very well, but he can run.
Yes, so it's another mobile quarterback. She's right about that for sure. I was at Notre Dame in 2002 or 2003. I always forget which year it was.
Yep.
And they were playing host to Boston College. And at this point in time, Notre Dame was undefeated. And Boston College came in and knocked them off. It was Halloween weekend of either, I can't remember, like I said, I think it was 2002. Halloween weekend. It was incredibly cold. And so here I was, my first and only time on the campus of Notre Dame in South Bend. Frozen to death. And also everybody was in such a bad mood. I mean, I understood. I'm obviously a football fan.
That's literally the whole town.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. But congrats to Boston College that game.
Yeah, I played there my 5th year. It was a terrible game for us, but it was cool to play at Notre Dame. Actually, here's a little trivia for you. So we went in 9th in the country. They were 8th. We were both undefeated, and it was November, so it was late. They were 8-0. We were 7-0-1, and they killed us. They had Bettis, Rick Meyer. They killed us. It was 54-7. My dad left after the first quarter. It was 35-0. He was so mad. He was so mad, and so was I. Not to plug, but I did have 22 tackles that game, but they scored so many points. It didn't really matter. But here's
Your
the
dad
trivia.
was like, I left. I wasn't
he
watching.
left. He couldn't take it. He went to the car and turned it on the radio or something. He was just he couldn't take it anymore. But here's the trivia. They filmed the final scene of Rudy getting the sack at halftime of that game.
Nice.
You go back and watch. No, it's not nice. I can't stand Notre Dame.
I love
and
the movie
you
Rudy,
look at the Rudy would have got his ass kicked at BC. We would have beaten him up off the field. Like he would have never made it on the field. Like he'd have run home scared. Anyway, and you can see a bunch of maroon in the stands because they filmed it during the halftime of that
I didn't
game.
know that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Isn't that wild?
That is cool. I also remembered it was 2002, and the final score was Boston College 14, Notre Dame 7.
Oh,
That's the other.
Good game.
That's the other reason that it sucked. And Notre Dame was 4th in the country at the time.
BC had their number for a few years during around that time.
Oh, yeah, there was.
Yeah.
I was only like 11, 12 during that time, and my stepdad, diehard Notre Dame fan, my uncle, so they were just furious during those few years of time. I want to say one of them, maybe it was a Michigan game we went and saw. There was a few bowl games that we ended up seeing. One of them was the Orange Bowl or the Citrus Bowl, and then something else they had. It must have been a tax layer because it was here, but both times I went and saw them as a kid. They lost, and I remember being like, I don't want to do this again. This sucks.
You'll always remember the losses.
Yeah,
that's for sure. There's more NFL news I want to get to on the other side, but an Open Championship comes your way right now. It is 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This Open Championship update on 1010XL is teed up by TopDressing.com and 904 Gutters with a Z.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 153rd British Open. Back Together Weekend, sponsored by the NFL, presented by YouTube TV, July 26th and 27th. Visit NFL.com/BackTogetherWeekend. From a 5-way tie for the lead to a solo leader in the first round at Royal Portrush, Harris English 5 under with back-to-back birdies at 11 and 12 and 6 holes to go. He's got an opportunity to push that lead out. English using a backup caddy this weekend, Joe Eder. His regular caddy, Eric Larson, was denied a visa by the UK because of a criminal conviction 30 years ago. Tied for second at 4 under, 1 back, Jakob Skov Olesen, Hao Tong Lee, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Christian Bezuidenhout. Scotty Scheffler used 2 late birdies to post 3 under 68. He's 2 back. Home favorite Rory McIlroy was 3 under before bogeys at 11 and 12. He's 1 under, 4 off the lead. I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
This summer with Kohl's, you can rack up the compliments. Like, where'd you get that dress? Tell me all your makeup secrets. Or, ooh, my husband needs that polo in every color. Because Kohl's has what you need. Cute dresses, Sephora essentials, stylish polos, comfy kids clothes, and more. Plus, take 20% off some of your faves. Yep, cue the compliments with Kohl's. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offer ends July 20th. Coupons and Kohl's Cash do not apply to Sephora. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
Imagine a place where the sun is always shining, the drinks are ice cold, and the food is bursting with flavor. Welcome to Hurricane Grill and Wings, where locals and visitors alike gather to weather this storm we call life. And you can escape here anytime you like. Today's forecast, hot, crispy wings with a 100% chance of frothy beers. Later, we're predicting big burgers and seafood tacos moving in. Escape the ordinary. HurricaneWings.com.
Get the real story from people who know the beautiful game best. The Coaches Show, presented by Sporting Jacks with Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburton, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Ballum. Tuesday nights at 6
on 1010 a.m.
1010XL is excited to support an evening of all-star fun as comedian David Spade joins MC and Gator basketball great Patrick Young to induct Olympic swimmers Nancy Hogshead and Ryan Murphy, golf legend Jim Furyk, and the iconic Lizard King into the Sawyer Sports Foundation's Jacksonville Sports Hall of Fame, presented by the Nimnick family of dealerships. Saturday, July 26th at the Community First Igloo. For single ticket and table sponsorship, go to JacksonvilleIceman.com.
Hey, Hickett here. Think you got the ugliest garage floor on the First Coast? Your garage a crack-stained hot mess? Hold on to your squeegee. Checkmate Coatings is hunting for the worst garage floor out there. And the winner gets a free garage coating makeover. Whoa! Take 10 seconds. Snap a pic of that garage eyesore. Register at checkmatecoatings.com/contests for a chance to win a free floor coating. It's easy. Just snap a quick pic and enter for a chance to win at checkmatecoatings.com/contest. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the First Coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
Vegas, 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 baby.
Vegas, baby. Helmets and Heels is back at Circa Resort and Casino with 2 epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Here's the scoop. In Circa Million, pick 5 games against the spread each week for quarterly prizes and a $1 million grand prize for the season winner. Then there's the legendary Circa Survivor. 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins a guaranteed $15 million. Must enter in Nevada, then play from anywhere. Visit circasports.com for all the details.
Plus, sign up for either contest and score 50% off a 2-night stay at Circa Resort and Casino. You can even join the ultimate football kickoff with Helmets and Heels in Vegas, August 21st and 22nd while you enter. Book your stay at Circa now and chase $21 million in guaranteed prizes. No rake. For full contest details, check out 1010XL.com/Vegas. Vegas, baby.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Denny Thompson here. You gotta check out Tyson's showroom home theater with surround sound and comfy theater chairs. You can transform your living room into a cinematic experience. I can stay there to watch all my games. It's that comfortable. Call Tyson today and bring the theater experience home. Tyson Sound and Security, your security, home theater, and home automation experts. New showroom at 3555 US Highway 17 in Fleming, Iowa.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Baker Glass. Jaguars rookie linebacker out of Notre Dame, Jack Kaiser, has officially put pen to paper and signed his rookie contract. Kaiser, the Jaguars' 4th-round selection in this year's draft, was the last of the rookies to sign his deal, meaning as of today, the Jaguars' entire 2025 draft class is officially locked in. After a handful of days off for the All-Star break, the Jumbo Shrimp will return to the Diamond tomorrow night on the road as they begin their 6-game series with the Gwinnett Stripers. Across the Atlantic at Royal Portrush, day one of the Open Championship did not disappoint. World number one Scotty Scheffler is just 2 shots off the lead at 3 under in the clubhouse. And the hometown favorite Rory McIlroy is even through 14 with some struggles on the last few holes. It's 90 degrees at 2:57 time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
For you on this Thursday afternoon. Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. By the way, the new song for the SEC this year, Bailey Zimmerman and Luke Combs. Y'all know this. Yeah. Backup Plan. I got to see Bailey Zimmerman perform that live at the AMP a couple weeks ago. Fantastic.
Yeah. One of my friends texted me and they were like, because they did the release video of what it was. Yes. Super cool anyways. But he texted me and he was like, this is so sick. And he was like, the Big Ten's probably going to have like Ed Sheeran or something. That made me laugh. And I'm not even an SEC girl, but it made me laugh.
No, but I did appreciate that. By the way, you just heard Max's update. Rory McIlroy is at even, not ideal for him. But Harris English, a noted Jaguars fan, is solo at the top of the leaderboard right now at 5 under. So he is certainly playing well. As soon as Tommy said
that's his guy now.
Yeah, if he's a Jag fan, I'm all for it, especially leading.
Sure
Let's
is,
go. Jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, he's now through 13, so we'll certainly keep you updated as well as the Open Championship updates. Wanted to run through a few more news and notes when it comes to the NFL. A judge earlier today sentenced Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice to 5 years probation and 30 days of jail time that can be served during those 5 years. Now, the NFL, of course, can expedite their discipline for Rashee Rice, which most people expected to be a multi-game suspension for him. So therefore, the expectations would then you pivot if you're the Chiefs and you look towards Xavier Worthy and expect him to take over the load that Rashee Rice would. So I have a feeling that a lot of fantasy people today, fantasy owners, were immediately starting to maybe bench Rice and then start someone else.
I was one of the people that immediately, because I need a running back so bad, so I was like, hey, I have Xavier Worthy if anybody wants to give me a good running back. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, he's also coming off of an injury too, so it's going to be interesting how all of this ends up working. And also thinking back to last year, how he got, remember it was Patrick Mahomes like accidentally
That's right.
blowing his knee pretty much with a low tackle that took him out. And then now all of this is going on. But we'll see what it looks like. I'm seeing a lot of people expecting, like a lot of people are saying maybe 2 to 3 games. And so I'm not sure how much that totally affects things. And we've also seen Patrick Mahomes. Who cares at that point? Like he's going to find somebody to throw the ball to.
And listen, that organization knows how to fill gaps when they have to, fill the voids. They'll be just fine. That Xavier Worthy's something else. And Rice, when he's healthy, he's a very good player, man. There's no doubt about that. What's the charge? I can't remember the charge on him.
So he was involved in a multi-car crash back in 2024, last offseason. Okay. And there was, I believe, a death in the crash.
What a shame. What a shame.
Which is really sad. Yeah. I did want to say the Chiefs schedule for y'all who aren't, haven't memorized other NFL team schedules. Chiefs at Chargers, Eagles at Chiefs, Chiefs at Giants, Ravens at Chiefs.
Nice.
Those are the first 4
that he would potentially miss.
Those are the first 4. Wow.
So I mean, obviously, when you're the best team in the division, you get the number 1 schedule. Yep. But so again, at the Chargers,
just were like, here it is, go for it.
Good for
them. And I saw somebody tweet also where they were like, Chiefs could go get Keenan Allen right now. And I was like, stop trying to help them. They don't need that.
That is very true. I can understand that. Speaking of help, the Commanders signed Von Miller to a 1-year deal. Certainly at one point in time was one of the best pass rushers in all of the league. I don't know that he's still one of the best pass rushers in all of the league, but I do think that the Commanders, based off of the season that they had last year, they're all in.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, I wouldn't mind have him off the bench.
Yeah, I don't think Von Miller was going to sign here, though. I think
he had 6 sacks last year.
Right. I think he's chasing a
Take that. Off the bench, you take that all day long.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't start a game last year, and he had 6 sacks.
Yeah.
I would take Von Miller.
For sure. But I think he has 1 ring with the Broncos.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that that's what he's now gearing up for, is to try and win another one. And certainly Washington, based off of the fact that they made it to the NFC Championship game last year, is a good spot for him.
The biggest thing for them is Jaden Daniels, man. Can he beat that second year, quote-unquote curse? Can they beat the game plan that they've had all off-season to try to figure out? He's a special player. There's no doubt about it. But this league, man. They can make you look like a star one year and not make you look very good the next, especially at QB.
For sure. 129.5 sacks for Von Miller. I think that's potentially Hall of Fame territory.
Yeah. He'll definitely be in that conversation. And when it comes to the Commanders, I think it will be when we're the interesting side of that. Number one, there's the issues with Terry McLaurin right now, too.
Yeah,
he's very unhappy with the organization. The organization, they can't agree on anything. What does that look like? But also, obviously, we talked about Brown being here. That another one of Zacchaeus, Zacchaeus, however you say it, which was another one of his main weapons, especially down the stretch last year. He's also gone. So there is a lot of turnover on that offense, too, of the guys that depending, I'm guessing Terry McLaurin will be back. I just don't know really what that's going to look like. Does he sit out? Does he not want to play? I feel like Terry would be one of the guys that if he doesn't get what he wants, you don't see him right away. So that's a storyline to definitely follow along with.
Yeah, I would think they figure him
something out.
Man.
I mean, you have to.
He's a great player.
He's so good.
Come on. You want your young quarterback having those kind of weapons, right? That can turn a short pass into a huge gain or a big touchdown.
Sure.
So.
And like you said, no De'Ami Brown. And that's interesting. Speaking of wide receivers, Vikings wide receiver Jordan Addison pled guilty today to a lesser charge to resolve a 2024 DUI citation. So that, of course, also opens him up to NFL discipline. My guess is because there wasn't any sort of injury or death involved with it, that it's probably only going to be a 1-game suspension. That would be my guess, based off of what the NFL has done in the past.
Yeah. I would agree. I don't think we see too much out of that, but and I guess you want to hear something like that. I guess get that done now and go ahead and get that 1-game suspension out of the way, and rather than you having to mid-season or late when you're trying to make a run lose Jordan Addison.
And listen, obviously you don't want to, demean, or not demean, but like lower. A DUI is a major thing. Yeah. It's not, just brushing it off. Obviously, you want to take care of that. And look, players, I know everyone's like, why don't they just get rides? Why don't they just get rides? Here's the thing. I think, anyway, they take out their beautiful car because they want to drive it. They want to take it out. And then instead of leaving it there, which they don't want to, they get in the car and they try to drive it home when you should say, no, let's forget the car and go and get a ride, But, man, I hope he can figure that out. 1 game seems about right for that, as long as there's no malicious.
Yeah, it's anything up to 3 games. And any time that there's stuff like this. I think if you're a Vikings fan, it's just so upsetting because remember Kyrie Jackson, their draft pick, who died in a tragic car accident that was involved with a drunk driver. And so it was just a few days after that. And so that's when you say, well, don't take your beautiful new car out. Just make sure that you get a ride. The Vikings
they start with the Bears on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, the Vikings start with the Bears Monday night and then play host to the Falcons and then the Bengals.
Yep.
Vikings are home for 2 games.
JJ McCarthy, right? JJ McCarthy show. Let's go.
That will be interesting. And then we've seen now several of the second round picks. We talked about it earlier this week. Only 2 of the 32 had signed.
Right.
30 of the 32 remained unsigned. Now we've seen a slew of guys ever since Alfred Collins signed.
Yeah, that was kind of that first domino.
Yeah. He signed his agreement, and we had talked about the fully guaranteed money is what the second rounders were expecting.
Right.
So Collins did not get 100% fully guaranteed. He got 88%. It's still pretty good. Yeah. But that was where the sticking point was, is the teams didn't want to give 100% guaranteed. So he did sign a 4-year, $10 million deal with a little over $9 million guaranteed.
Good for him. And now it'll trickle down, and that's how it should go. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. Okay, the first 2 guys got guaranteed. Well, you can't give everybody guaranteed. Where's the cutoff? Well, here's the cutoff, and here's what the discrepancy is. It's 12%. You're getting 12% less than these guys, and then we'll go down from there.
The interesting one will still be to follow Shamar Stewart, obviously, because that's been the one where he's threatening to go back to college and play.
Kidding.
Yeah, he's the final one of the first round that has not signed because Jedi Barron did go ahead and sign.
Yeah, he did sign.
Shamar Stewart.
Play? Can he go back to college and play?
I keep hearing different things. So I heard that he can. I don't know if he can go back to...
That would be an NCAA question.
Yeah. And that's what but then I saw reports yesterday that he couldn't go back to A&M, but he could go back to college and play, is what I've seen.
Gotcha. I tell you what, I'd focus on getting Trey Hendrickson done and just worry about that guy later.
Yeah.
You know
Stewart
what I mean?
thinks he's more important than Trey Hendrickson.
I mean, we all know.
No way. That guy's
knew that
awesome.
there was going to be an issue with Shamar Stewart.
Yeah.
I mean, he already had the off-the-field stuff, but either way. Did you watch... I know Taylor did. Did you watch the ESPYs last night, Tom?
No, I did not. I did watch the monologue of the...
Gillis.
Yeah.
Shane Gillis, the host. Which
he's fantastic.
He's really funny. He had moments that if I was in the audience, I feel like I would have cringed.
Yeah.
Like, especially the Deshaun Watson joke. Like, even if it's true, it's still like, I feel like you're like,
the players are, you could see some of them. After the Shador Sanders one, they panned to the crowd and they showed Lamar Jackson, and you could tell Lamar was like, don't laugh.
Also, don't show me. But as far as I will say, the ESPYs did move me to cry tears of like sadness twice. Yeah. Taylor and I were texting about the Lee Corso tribute. So they did an entire tribute to Lee Corso and all of his time on game day.
Yeah.
And what made me so like emotional was not just the tribute, but also if you were watching closely, he and Kirk Herbstreit have formed this really great relationship. And Kirk made sure that he was right next to Lee at all moments so that if Lee needed anything, you know, Kirk could help him. And I just thought that was so incredibly sweet because as we know, like Lee Corso suffered that stroke a few years ago and unfortunately just hasn't been the same since.
Yeah, those moments I feel like they always have to throw in those emotional ones where you're like giggling and laughing and the next thing you know, I'm like, well, now I'm crying. So that's a very drastic changes there.
And
they did great on it.
They did. Yeah. And then I definitely cried. So Penn State head coach of volleyball, Katie Shoemaker-Cawley. So she was awarded the Jimmy V Award, and she was diagnosed with breast cancer before the season began. She's a wife and mother of 3, and they showed her battle through all of it. Not every second, obviously, but including chemo going into report. They showed times when she wasn't feeling like coaching, but she was able just at the last second to kind of go out there. And her players would say, there were days like we didn't feel like practicing, and then we look at what she's going through, and we just had to battle.
She can do this. We can
That's
do this.
emotional.
Yeah, and then it was Brian and I were both crying on the couch a lot, and so I just wanted to say like shout out to her and everything that she persevered through, and her speech was really good too. Her line was because everyone knows Jim Valvano had that amazing speech back in the day. Yep, don't give up, never give up. And if you laugh every day, cry every day, think every day along those lines, then you've had a really good day. That was part of the Jimmy V speech. She said, "Cancer certainly changed me, but it didn't take my life." Something along those lines. And I just thought that was great. Like cancer changed my life, but it didn't take it. That's how she said it. But
what an
I
inspiration!
They did a great job.
Yeah, that's a great award. Jimmy Valvano, man, he was something special, you know, and they give out those awards every year. And, you know, it's good, you know, to bring that awareness because, you know, people, I think a lot of fans think coaches and players and they're just on this pedestal type thing, but they're just people and they deal with these kind of things. And some can be really challenging, just like everybody out there listening, you know, it's no different. They just happen to be in a different position in the sports world.
It was awesome because Penn State was down in the semifinals. I forget to which team, maybe Nebraska, but either way, they came back to win the national championship.
That's cool.
That'll make you
cry. Yeah.
It was awesome. And
glorious.
We talked about throughout the season, Tom, Florida State volleyball coach Lonnie Alameda. She was also diagnosed with breast cancer. And I was hoping, even though as a diehard Florida fan, you never root for Florida State in anything, but when it comes to something like that, I can put the rivalry aside. And I was, my dad kept saying, no, you can't. You can't cheer for FSU. And I'm like, okay, that's a true Gator. But I did want Florida State, maybe not to win the national championship, but at least make it to that for her. But they were knocked out in the super regionals, I think. All right, time now for today's Terminix Pest of the Day. And then on the other side, we're going to get to some college football. The home belonging to Arizona Diamondbacks star Ketel Marte was burglarized during the Major League Baseball All-Star game the other night in which he was playing.
Oh,
come on, people. Like, I know that we've seen this with Joe Burrow. It happened too when he was out of town. We've seen it happen with lots of athletes. But like, come on, man. Like, you're violating people's privacy and their security. The way that they feel at home should be a safe place. Yeah. And so these burglaries are driving me crazy. And if I'm talking to athletes now, maybe you should hire a little more security when you're going to be out of town. And everyone in the world knows that you're going to be gone. Yeah.
Thieves don't have a heart.
I know.
That's the problem. They don't. They empty
They're
house.
Like, he's not home. He's on TV at the All-Star game. I know exactly my time frame.
I know my wife and I are late to it. We've been watching that Animal Kingdom on Netflix. That's what they've been watching because that's all they do is they go rob people. I'm like, how do they never get caught? Like, nobody ever catches them. But it's what's happening, though. Like, they know your way.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. What do you have? Just a row of Rottweilers hanging out on your front porch? You know, come get it. Like, you want to, I don't know, have like a machine gun in front? Like, stop. Don't answer. You know, I don't know. Like, how do you defend that?
I mean, maybe I don't know, local police have, or maybe you hire some private.
You could hire security to sit out there for you. Yeah, sure.
But it just seems like, it's been happening more and more. But thankfully, no one was at home. So while they did steal valuables, at least no one was injured.
I feel like it also is
could be lucky nobody was home too.
That's also a possibility.
Like maybe a good idea for like local people to not be like, so-and-so just bought a house in this neighborhood. Like, maybe not put on blast where people just bought a home.
Well, and that's why some buy it through an LLC, a different type of company, so that way no one knows the address. And certainly a lot of athletes are in gated neighborhoods, right, for that very reason. But look, if people are going to, like you said, Tom, if people are wanting to get in there and burglarize, they're going to find a way.
They're going to find a way. They don't care.
Thanks to our friends.
It's a shame, though.
It is. Thanks to our friends at Terminix. They're coming out tomorrow to spray our front yard, our backyard, and take care of all the pests around the house and all those spiders as well. You certainly don't want pests at your home. You can find them online at Terminix.com. That's TERMINIX.com. They take care of Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, all of your favorite event venues around town. They are the absolute best in the business. Like I said, we will get it to college football. When we return, you are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010 XL 92.5 FM.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Looking for the win. Scobie sweeps the legs. 59 yards away. He's got it. Jacksonville wins.
1010 XL, home of the Jaguars.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
When it comes to your utility bill, JEA wants to help you use less so you can save more. We offer a variety of free programs, like efficiency and irrigation assessments that'll teach you ways to conserve energy and water around your home. Our alerts will let you know when your utility usage has reached a set amount, and our rebates can help you save when upgrading to more efficient appliances and equipment. Find even more ways to save at JEA.com.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
As a law enforcement officer, safe roads are one of my top priorities, ensuring everyone can get home safely each day. Some never will, due to aggressive driving, being distracted, or speeding on the roads. And too often, that results in the toughest part of my job and the longest walk in my life. I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
9 people will be killed on our Florida roadways today. Don't let it be you or a person you love. Buckle up every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
He thinks he knows what he's talking about.
Of course.
Find out if he does.
Is there anything else we need to know?
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold's recently hit an all-time high at over $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph has branched off from on-road to off-road. Give us the latest on what they've got.
They've got the 250 and the 450. Rick Carmichael designed these bikes himself, and they are bad to the bone.
So you're talking about a really cool effect from a bike off-road that Triumph had on-road forever.
It is, and it's out there winning races, and it is fun to ride.
Check it out, Cycles of Jacksonville, their showroom on Atlantic near Regency, or online on their Facebook page.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Summer means fun in all forms. Longer days and more chances to soak up the sun and the fun. Budweiser and Bud Light reminding you to drink wiser. Hydrate between beers and don't sweat it. It's the best way to get home safely.
Power bill just went up again? Why keep paying more? Clay Solar can wipe that electric bill out. Right now, they'll cover your first 6 months' payments. Visit claysolar.com today to schedule your free consultation. claysolar.com.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement. This is RJ with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at kuhnflowers.com.
How much do the performers for Super Bowl halftime shows get paid?
Filing an insurance claim following a storm shouldn't be an ordeal. Southern Oak Insurance's claim team prepares for catastrophic situations well in advance. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Super Bowl performers are not paid for their shows, but production costs are covered by the NFL, which could go as high as $15 million.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Florida heat hitting like a heavyweight? Time to call in the champ. KO Electric and HVAC. We knock out the heat and power up your comfort. Fast, reliable, and undefeated in home service. KOElectricJacks.com. KOElectricJacks.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Turns out all of us are going to Shania Twain. It may not be on the same night, but team bonding.
How about it?
At Shania Twain.
Yes, I love it.
Shots for everybody.
Now you're speaking to me.
Now we need to all go on the same night. We got to finagle that. But yeah, in case you haven't heard, Shania Twain comes to Daly's Place Tuesday, July 29th and Wednesday, July 30th. The concert is going to be an absolute blast.
Yep.
I have friends that saw her a few years ago at ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena and said she crushed it.
Cool.
And so certainly looking forward to that. And you know it's popular when they're coming not once, but twice back-to-back nights. All right, let's get into some college football in the form of one Taylor Dahl's Tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
So in case you missed it, 1010XL has been at SEC Media Days all week. This morning, Matt Hayes and Frank talked to Sam Pittman, and I'm really glad they got to talk to Sam. I always love Pittman, like in general, his knowledge of college football and the game, and when it comes to especially this type of stuff, when we're talking about portal and NIL, he's very vocal about how he feels about those type of things. And so when I was listening, there was a few things that I was taking out of what Sam said. Number one, I think he listens to our show because he agrees with a lot of the things that Lauren and I had been saying. But Lauren, one thing that you and I had talked a lot about is that second portal opening and how that's one of the things that makes the least sense to us in college football right now. And so I did want to play this clip of Pittman talking about that after the spring practice portal opening and the timing of that and his thoughts on that.
It's the free player movement that's the problem. Right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Explain that for everybody.
And the time that they're allowed to do it. To me, for the life of me, I do not understand why we would have an after spring ball portal. I just don't. Isn't spring ball to develop kids for your football team and to know who you have on the team? And then you go after spring ball, and heaven forbid, let's say you lost your two quarterbacks and this. Now you got a whole different team, maybe a whole different schematics. I do believe that the kids have an opportunity to move. I can get that maybe one time in their career, and possibly in the month of January where they can get into school and be there through spring ball. But this, we've had guys that have transferred 3 times within a very short period of time. I don't know that that's good academically for the young man either. So I'm not for it. I'm for opportunities to transfer, but I think right now if we could get it to where the portal would be open once, possibly in early January, where most of the kids could get into school, I think then you'd solve your academic problem and possibly your after spring ball problem.
Let's be honest, no one's worried about the academic.
I was about to say, we hadn't even mentioned that side of it. I guess that is part of it. But to me, there's been two things that I really don't like, and that has been the number of times you can now transfer. I think there should be a limit on that. I don't think you should be able to go to 4 or 5 different schools. And I do think that after spring practice portal makes no sense. And to his point, he was talking about just roster building in general. You just spent camp with this offense or with this defense, and if you lose multiple guys, now the next time you guys meet, you're having to start all over again, and that's a month before the season is really getting started. And so it's not really fair for programs to have the expectations that they've had in recent years if they're not able to develop and keep the rosters the way that they have in previous years.
Well, listen, I just think, in general, I mean, come on, why do you have to... More than once is ridiculous. Yeah. It just is. I mean, and it's gotten to a point where it's like the norm. And it shouldn't be that way. I mean, and again, after spring ball is so stupid. Like, do it. I don't mind giving them more than a month too. Like the season ends, you have till here. Hey, you don't like where you're at? Fine, you get to do it once in your career, and I agree with that. Now, maybe a special exemption for medical or something else. Something happened. Something happened with your life or whatever. I understand that, but it should be done at a certain point, and then once that period's over, it's over. Yeah. Till the next time around. You don't like it? It's too bad. There's too much. Like, come on, you're putting way too much pressure on these schools, these coaches. I mean, they open it up after spring ball, and little Johnny that didn't make first team, he's gonna cry and call mom and dad and go get some money from wherever, Northern Illinois, some school, or you know what I mean? Like, and then next year he's gonna not make it again, and it's gonna be everybody else's fault, but little Jimmy's, and next thing you know, he's
on
going
school 4.
Over, yeah, like, come on, somebody's got to like me after a while. I don't know. I just think the whole thing just stinks, to be honest with you. I don't mind. Listen, you want to transfer? I told you my story. My dad wouldn't let me transfer, and I'm glad he didn't, because then Tom Coughlin came into my life, and everything happens for a reason. There's no doubt about that. Again, there was no money involved, but you had to sit out a full year. Mm-hmm. Like, there was no, you just joined the team. There was like, hey, you want to do this? Fine. But you lose a year of eligibility, and it's gone. You don't get the red shirt. You don't get it back, that kind of stuff. So, I don't know, man. I think it's way out of hand. I'm all for these kids making money. Don't give me, it is. Yeah. It's good for them and their families. But, you can't be jumping ship every time something doesn't go your way. That just is not a good message for society, for college football, for anything.
Well, it's funny because Leon asked Sam Pittman, the head coach of Arkansas football, like, from the player perspective, once a coach puts out a depth chart, you immediately look to see where you are on it. And if the post-spring practice portal is open and you're third or beyond on the depth chart, of course, at that point, you're thinking to transfer, right? Because you don't have to sit out, and there's no limitations on that. Sam Pittman's like, so the depth chart we don't put out. Yeah. And if I hear whispers that a certain player is thinking about leaving, then I put him in the starting lineup because I want him to think that he's going to start on it. Right.
Yeah.
It's just chess.
So now you have to play games with these players, and they're playing games with you.
Yeah, that's insane.
And that's why we've talked a lot, too, about the secrecy of college football, but they're having to get more secret because of things like this. Because if a coach comes out, let's say a player goes to a school, they transfer to the school because they do like the quarterback. Let's go back to Florida with Graham Mertz, and we had Ricky Pearsall that came along too. If you have that type of situation, and then you get there and you hear that Graham Mertz isn't winning that job, and Pearsall's like, "Wait, I came here to play with him," then he's gone. There's a possibility he's gone, and that's probably happening places. People transfer for a starting spot. People transfer because their buddies on the team, or people transfer because a certain coach is there. And I know that's been some of the arguments before when the portal. You did have to wait a year if you were recruited and committed to a certain coach, and then that coach gets fired in that offseason. Should you still stay? And I do think that that's where kind of the intricacies come from it. But I do think that if you have that 1 year portal, to Tommy's point, make it a little longer. Open it right after the season ends. Let it stay open until right before spring practice, then close it, and you're done. That's your opportunity.
Yeah. Certainly part of the problem is now the way that the schedule is. So the college football playoff is going into January.
Yep.
And if you're saying that the spring, or that there's no spring portal, that it's only the winter transfer portal is open, and you're shutting it down in January, and some of these kids are still on a team that's playing in the playoff, they have to make a decision. If they're not getting this,
I'm saying keep it open through like February. Just have a longer portal open.
And I'd rather it not open until after the season ends completely, but other people would say, but they have to transfer to start spring classes elsewhere.
Yeah.
What if you just waited till after spring ball? That was the period then.
The coaches would hate that.
They would, but
The student athletes would be fine with that because they would figure out where they are in the pecking order.
How many, and I'm not saying first-year players, but how many third stringers that have been there a year, I mean, do people really want them? Like, why would I, if I'm at Clemson, I'm a coach at Clemson, why do I want so-and-so's third
string,
fourth string guy? Like, what is that going to do for me?
Yeah, Clemson
Unless he's
may
a
not
rookie.
want them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Right, but
Northern Illinois might want them.
Northern Illinois, sorry. It's my brother's alma mater. Sorry, Mike. But I just always couldn't think of a school.
I don't know. Northern Illinois beat a certain team last year.
They did. I know.
Then that's the thing. Like, that's why I've, number one, I love the expansion of the college football playoff. There's a lot of things. I don't love the forcing the Big Ten and SEC to have these set number of teams that have to be in. And the reason for that, because we're seeing, I think, the more you get away from being like, okay, it's going to be 8 SEC teams and Big Ten teams in the playoffs, the more the smaller schools, at least players feel like, I have a chance then. I have a chance to get into the college football playoff. And if you do that, if some of these smaller schools start having that chance, even if they're not in, but at the end they're in that talk of getting in, and people are watching these games to see some of these players. Next thing you know, people, if you are a third string guy at Clemson, you may be like, okay, well, I could start over there, and I may have a chance to get to the college football playoff.
Right, Boise State, SMU. Not that these are necessarily small schools, but schools. Arizona State had not been sniffing the college football playoff recently, and all those teams were able to make it.
Idaho may want the third stringer from Clemson and give them $50,000 to come and ride horses or something.
Indiana made the college football playoff.
Give him a horse to go with it.
By the way,
we have horses, the best of the horses.
There you go. Harris English no longer solo at the top of the leaderboard. He's now in that pack of 5 guys at 4 under. So we will keep you updated with the Open Championship that comes at you right now. You are listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This Open Championship update on 1010XL is teed up by TopDressing.com and 904 Gutters with a Z.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 153rd British Open. About an hour or so remaining in the first round at Royal Port Rush. The wind has freshened, gusts of 30 miles per hour from the south. The Irishman Shane Lowry, very familiar. He won the Claret Jug at Port Rush 6 years ago.
Obviously, I want so much to do well in this tournament. I want so much to give myself a chance on Sunday, and you can't do that without hitting a good first tee shot, and I knew I needed to do that, and we all know the dangers that first hole can throw at you, so I was happy to get it away.
Yeah, with OB just to the left off that first tee, Lowry made par there on his way to a 1 under 70. He's 3 off the lead. Harris English, who tied for second at the PGA Championship 2 months ago, drops out of sole possession of the lead with a bogey at 14. He is 4 under, along with Matt Fitzpatrick, Haotong Lee, Jakob Skov Olesen, and Christian Bezuidenhout. World number 1 Scotty Scheffler with a ho-hum 3 under 68, and he's just 1 back. I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, home essentials, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I am going to get our home organized. Lauren Brooks here. I am so excited to meet with the team at Closets by Design next week and discuss all of the different improvements that they can make for our home. You can do the same. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Oh yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 904-878-9393 or visit them online, closetsbydesign.com.
to get this thing unwrapped here. Duval!
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, Dan. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it," and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Hey, poker players, Christmas in July is back at Best Bet, along with daily high hand promotions. This month, get ready to cash in on over $700,000 in high hands at all Best Bet locations. And ride the waves into Best Bet St. Augustine for chances to ride away on a Yamaha Wave Runner. From table games to tournaments, Best Bet has a spot for everyone. Visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com for all the exciting details.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 17th, 1941, Joe DiMaggio's record 56-game hit streak ends when he goes 0 for 4 against the Indians. His record still stands today.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged-up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass, and he told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm Mac with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
The best game day parking in all of Duval is at Tailgaters Parking. Are you ready for some football? Tailgaters is just steps away on the east side of the stadium. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and secure your season parking pass today.
Frank Franzi here to tell you about the coolest new thing, a putting green in my backyard that my friends at Sunshine Turf installed. Sunshine Turf can do the same for you. They'll come to your house, they'll create a custom design for your space, and you'll have an authentic golf course experience right in your own backyard. I freaking love it. Sunshine Turf is family owned and they made the process so simple. So visit sunshineturf.info or call them at 904-383-0243 and get a free quote today for your own putting green. Get it from Sunshine Turf.
Hey, Jacksonville, need a fence and ready to save? At Superior Fence and Rail, you'll lock in 5% off your fence project when you sign by the end of July. A limited time offer for savings and peace of mind this summer. Now accepting appointments for a free estimate. So act fast and get 5% off your entire fence project when you finalize by July 31st. Cannot be combined with other offers. New contracts only.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com. Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about HardballCreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365. Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
I'm going to cool down with the fact that the Rays stadium in Tampa, it now looks like the poor women's soccer team is not going to get the stadium where they had wanted it. So the developers were originally in conversations with a women's soccer team in order to build a stadium on Ybor Harbor. Mm-hmm. And now the developers have pivoted from obviously they've been talking, like I said, with women's soccer, but now Stuart Sternberg is going to sell it to Patrick Zalewski, the Dreamfinders owner. And apparently those conversations have gone well enough that now the
Rays
Rays
where they want it.
May kick out. They haven't started it yet, but may take over the exact spot that the women's soccer team
They're
wanted.
like, good spot. Well,
in Ybor Harbor. And
thanks for keeping it warm.
I do understand, obviously, for revenue, economic development, no offense to women's soccer, but a heck of a lot more people are coming to watch the Tampa Bay Rays play than the women's soccer team in Tampa. But I did.
I'm just kidding.
No, that's always true, Taylor. No. They've been doing well in their 10,000 capacity stadium this year, Steinbrenner Field. But I did wonder, we've had so many conversations about sporting Jax Taylor and Jax USL and the new women's team here. And that's such an exciting thing. And then to all of a sudden be told, well, actually, where you thought you were putting your stadium, that even though we told you can build it here, that there's been a change of plans. I mean, we've all been through that in our life, getting excited about something and then it doesn't, it falls through.
Yeah, that sucks, by the way.
It does. But I just laughed when I read the story.
But on the other side of that, super cool for the Rays because I feel like that is such a good spot to put a stadium there. I think that when Ybor is wild. That's one of the, if you go to Ybor, that's where I had my 30th. And we had so much fun. Even it was during COVID, it was COVID year. I turned 30 in 2020, but we had so much fun. And there's so many different things. Restaurants are fantastic. When you talk about walkability for the one main strip of Ybor, it's fantastic. And that's the best thing. All the baseball fields, and we've seen this trending with the battery, and they've kind of built that around there. But a lot of the Wrigleyville, you were talking about it, Tommy. It's fantastic when you're able to just walk out of the stadium and you have bars and restaurants and clubs and everything you want right outside. That alone attracts people, and then those people maybe that wouldn't have gone to a game before are making a whole day out of it.
Yeah, I think the public transportation is huge too, right? You don't have to drive your car. I don't know how it is in Tampa if they're going to be able to pull that off, but I know Wrigley, Fenway, those even Yankee Stadium, you're taking the train, you're taking a cab, whatever, Uber, and there's so much action around. I mean, you look at Patriot Place, that became a thing, right? That's what's going to happen down in Jax. I mean, and you wait till they get it all together. And I'm not just talking the Four Seasons and all that, but everything else. Lot J's going to come back. That's going to come back, that project, because they want that. Everybody wants that. And then when you get that, then you're talking about maybe a Major League Baseball team. Maybe we're hosting the draft. We're having all these massive acts come in, like Shania Twain, but even bigger. You know what I mean? So, it's important. It's not just having the team, but it's everything around it that you can develop around it and make it really a destination.
And the jobs you're giving, too, to the community. And that's a big thing, too, is that the moment they do that, it's opening so many jobs for the people in that Ybor City area, which not saying that there's issues right now because there's plenty of places, but we've seen how much Florida's grown the last several years. And so that continues to go. And once you make it, my whole thing is once you make it a full day attraction rather than just a baseball game, you're going to get the more casual fans there. You're going to get the people that are saying, okay, we can go to the bar, have a few drinks, go to the game. The boyfriend wants to go to the game and the girlfriend's like, I'm down because I get to go to my favorite bar before and after. And that adds so much value for the people who want to make it a full day event.
Or the girlfriend wants to go to the game.
I know.
I'm just saying. I found this also funny that the Hillsborough County Commissioner, Ken Hagan, he was like, well, obviously, also, baseball is more of an economic driver because there's more games. And it's yes, that makes logical sense. The developer, though, Daryl Shaw, declined to comment on anything because, this is a guy that the moment he speaks publicly, he's now saying, we definitely left one person at the altar, so to speak. But it is what it is. Before we forget, Taylor, we have lunch to give away.
We do. Free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 6 today. You get free lunch to Chick-fil-A.
I like it. Caller number 6. Very nicely done. All right. I wanted to also get to some conversation about Florida football. We got to hear from Billy Napier yesterday on the Frangie Show. Also, DJ Lagway, Jake Slaughter, the All-American center, and Caleb Banks met with the media as well and joined the show. Is there more pressure on DJ Lagway than any other quarterback this season not named Arch Manning? I think Garrett Nussmeier has a lot of pressure for LSU.
LSU guys got
Garrett Nussmeier has a lot of pressure for LSU.
I think I would name some that could be comparable in the sense of I would put Nussmeier up there. I honestly may put Carson Beck there because I think that Carson Beck was a guy that last year, this time we were talking about being drafted in the top 5 and being a Heisman finalist. And the way that this last season went, not only his play, the interceptions went up, he got injured at the end. Gunner comes in and people were honestly rooting for Gunner to continue. And then you transfer to Miami and people are saying this is a Miami team that's built very well. They're talking about the weapons they have. They're talking about the offensive line being one of the better offensive lines in college football. You're talking about the defense being as a whole one of the better defenses, which was one of their bigger weaknesses last year. And this is kind of, in my opinion, Carson Beck's real chance. At this point you're deciding, I'm guessing you'll go into the NFL next year. Where are you getting drafted? Are you back in Heisman talks this year? And not saying it's different, and that's where expectations come in. I think that for Lagway, expectations maybe not be, I feel like the value of them may be a little bit different, but I think expectations from the fan base and around college football, people are expecting Carson Beck to win a lot of games in Miami, and I feel like maybe also hoping that he's more like he was two seasons ago.
I mean, he's a nice player. Just never was like wowed by Carson Beck. Like you'd watch, and be like, oh wow, he's got it all. That type of thing. He's a nice player. How about the kid from Penn State? They say he may be the number one. Yeah, he may be the number one picked in the draft next year. He's got a lot on his shoulder.
Yeah, Penn State is a team that perennially is, I feel like halfway through the season is top 5. And then we get towards the end of the season and the conversation surrounds James Franklin is never going to win it all.
Oh, the big games.
And,
sure.
And obviously Penn State has a tough road within its conference, but if they are built, if they're built the way that Ohio State was built last year or Michigan 2 years ago, then certainly they are poised to win the national championship. So certainly, Drew Aller has a lot of pressure on him. Thomas Castellanos, I don't think has that much pressure. Yes, within Florida State fans, but nationally,
Alabama does.
Yeah, that's true too. Nationally, no one's predicting FSU to win the national championship. Nationally, people are predicting Penn State to win the national championship. They're not predicting Florida to win the national championship.
Right.
Certainly Texas with Arch Manning, but that's why I'm not including Arch in this conversation.
Yeah, and I think also that's where that expectation conversation comes from, because you could say Tommy Castellanos does have high expectations. It's not saying you're going to win a national championship, but win more than 2 games. You got some pressure to actually bring this program back to what people, not saying what it was when Jordan Travis was there, but closer to that than what it was last year. And so there's still some pressure there. I will say maybe Nico Iamaleava, the way that things went at UCLA, and you're downgrading programs, a lot of people feel.
I feel like UCLA, no one talks about that.
I know, but for him in general, that's going to be such a storyline, especially if, let's say, Aguilar wins this job and Tennessee looks really good and Heupel's able to develop this guy and build this offense around them. People are going to be looking at Nico and saying, look what you kind of abandoned over there for money. And that adds, I think, expectations for certain people.
Yeah, Lenore Sellers at South Carolina, Tom, is in the Heisman conversation for sure. And he was a fantastic freshman last year for them. But again, I don't think nationally people are expecting South Carolina to win the national championship. So it is all relative to the expectations.
Well, look, each school has its own pressure. I mean, you're the starting QB at Florida. You're under a lot of pressure because they'll call for your head the minute you start screwing it up.
He's the chosen one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's the darling, right? They're hoping that he's gonna. I don't think nationally though, right? I wouldn't think nationally.
If you look at Heisman odds, it's certainly Arch Manning, even though he hasn't played a ton yet, but he's played a little bit. It's the likes of, like a Drew Aller. It's the likes of Lenore Sellers, who I just mentioned. DJ Lagway is in there.
In the conversation.
Garrett Nussmeier is in there. And these are obviously the quarterbacks. If you look at
Cade Klubnik is in mixed up. I was about to say, he's another one that I think, because the product that's built around Cade Klubnik and what Dabo's been able to build, and I went over those stats the other day of in the rankings, 6 of the 7, when you break it down to those 4 offensive positions and the 3 defensive, that you have, they're in 6 of 7 of them. They're listed on top 15 ranking or top 10 rankings. And so and everybody's talked about how big of a step he took last year too. So does that continue? And I think a program like Clemson, especially being in the ACC, a lot of people are going to say you have the prime opportunity to really take advantage of this season.
Yeah, just go win it. Absolutely. Yeah. So there are certainly expectations on whoever wins the starting quarterback job at Alabama and Ohio State and Notre Dame, certainly expectations. But again, as far as just within the program, Florida fans are expecting DJ Lagway to maybe not win every game, but have them competitive against the likes of Texas and Georgia. Things that last year Florida was competitive with Georgia, not even close to Texas, but that was the third string quarterback. But Florida got blown out by Miami to start the season. I think this year, that is unacceptable if DJ Lagway stays healthy.
I like the way that Lagway answered that question, by the way, yesterday when they asked if they felt like if he stayed healthy during that Georgia game, if they would have won, because it would have been easy to just take that and say, like we were, the way I was playing, we could have. But the way he answered that I liked, because it didn't put so much pressure on himself that maybe guys like Tommy Castellanos and Diego Pavia are putting that extra pressure. He knows he already has enough at the Florida fan base and program.
Yeah, listen, Carson Beck's under pressure on him with Miami for sure. I mean, he went, he's a big guy they signed. He's got a lot on his plate. The quitter from BC, I mean, nobody really cares what he's going to do, because he's probably not going to do that much. But nonetheless, that's why they play that position. Quarterback position is the number one position all throughout football.
Yeah, and I should have included Gunnar Stockton in our list of guys that have a lot of pressure because Georgia fans expect to win the national championship every single year. And while they won the SEC championship last year, they did not win the national championship. Like you mentioned, Carson Beck's gone. Gunnar Stockton is now the next man up. If your fan base expects you to win the national championship, there is a ton of pressure on the quarterback. One comment that I loved, Billy Napier tweeted this, and then he also talked to Frank and Matt about this yesterday. There's so much talk about the schedule for Florida, right? It's the same schedule as last year, just the home and away opponents are reversed when it comes to the SEC, and then you add Miami and Florida State. It's a very difficult schedule. But Billy Napier's response
Don't put Florida
to that,
State in adding the difficulty.
Yeah, Miami for sure. I don't know about Florida State.
Florida
2 years ago, 2 years ago, you had Florida State on the schedule.
So we scheduled it 4 years ago. Yes,
but they're on the schedule every year. I'm just saying it's not just a cupcake non-conference opponent is what I mean. But so Billy Napier's comments, and this will sell on T-shirts if Florida's successful this season, was spot the ball.
Yeah,
like anytime someone talks to him about the schedule, I don't want to hear about how tough the schedule is. Spot the ball, because obviously the back half of last year, they heard all the noise at the beginning of last year. Everyone was talking about Lane Kiffin should be the next Florida head coach. Like Billy Napier's done, and some people thought, well, just let the season play out. And once it did, and again, the players heard the noise. They're on social media. They were like, no, this is our coach. We got his back. We're going to fight for him. And obviously we all saw what happened. They ended up winning 8 games.
Yeah, I love that. And you have to approach it that way, because I do think that if you look at the season as a whole, it starts to maybe become a little overwhelming. And I know Tommy, mentioning Notre Dame again, you're going to hate this, but Marcus Freeman is similar. They asked him pretty much in an interview yesterday on one of the national stations, like, what's a good record? Like, what would you, if a record at the end of the season, what would you call that a success? And he was like, 1-0, beat Miami. Let's start there and move on. Start there. You've got to win week 1.
Yeah. Do you guys like when your teams come out firing against the top teams, or do you want a warm-up game?
I like going right away.
Me
I
too.
Like
Go into the fire, man.
Give me somebody that is going to test, and you kind of get an idea right away.
It hurts you, though, if you lose.
My schedule's tough. It doesn't even matter. All right, let's
what is it? Who was the first game?
For Florida?
Long Island State or something?
Yeah, Long Island University, but that's
really tough.
Neither here nor there. Let's say hello to Hayes.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
Hayes, you're with me, right? You don't care who Florida starts with.
We got 2 Gators here. Watch out. Watch out.
Here we go.
Fighting words.
We got Long Island coming in. It's a pick 'em.
How many Long Island iced teas will you drink that game?
Ooh, that's an interesting.
Can we make this a challenge?
6.5. That sounds good.
Yeah, Vegas
I guess it depends on how well they play.
One for every touchdown.
I know. If we're in a 17-13 game with 4 minutes left, there will be many concerns.
That's going to be trouble. How was vacation?
It was great. We had a great time up in Boston, and but it's great to be back, ready for football. And what an outstanding Frangie show that we have coming up for you. Lee Smith will join us at 4:20, the executive director of the Players Championship, to talk early British Open thoughts. We'll have Caleb Banks as well. the Florida defensive tackle, Greg Sankey, and a bunch of other guys from SEC Media Day. I was told, but I can only remember those. There's a couple more in there. Sankey, Banks, Sam Pittman, I think, is among
that's right.
the All-Stars.
Matt, Joe, and Leon caught up with Sam Pittman earlier.
Right.
Really good interview. Did you see how Bryson DeChambeau did today?
No. How did he play?
Not good.
7 over.
Oh, that's just, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight knowing Bryson DeChambeau is probably, slamming the trunk tomorrow afternoon on his way out of Royal Portrush.
I had to share that with you.
He came through for me this year, so he's no longer in my real doghouse, but I still don't particularly like him, and I'm glad that I always hope if I didn't pick them, I always hope the Live guys fall apart. So it looks like so far none of the Live guys are. Hatton was up there.
Yeah.
Hatton maybe.
Hatton's at 3.
But I almost don't even count him because he's not. He wasn't a star when he left the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
So I don't care what Tyrell Hatton does. It's Koepka, DeChambeau. Rahm. We'll see. So, great opening day right now at the British Open for golf fans. It's a beautiful course, so we'll certainly talk about that. But great seeing you guys, and well done. And I'll see you tomorrow, I suppose.
That's good. I know what you did last summer comes out tonight.
Who's going to be the killer?
I don't know. I'm excited.
All right, get out of here. All right, like Hayes said, a ton of stuff from SEC Media Day is coming up on the Frangie Show. That'll do it for us today. For Tom McManus, for Taylor Dahl, for RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show is next.